Hello, beautiful people. I hope all is well. I hope all is well. So this is an impromptu live stream. I normally don't go live like willy-nilly. I normally schedule them out. However, I'm going to tell you why I'm going live, and it's very, very vain. If you watched any of my stories earlier this morning, I did a story series. I do it every morning called Morning Gems, right? And so today's morning gem was in regards to investing in yourself. So I shared with you guys, I have some speaking engagements, one of them coming up in January in Dayton, Ohio. The next one is going to be, I think, in April in Virginia. And I don't know how to do makeup. So I invested in myself and I invested in my makeup artist and paid for a class. Then once I was doing my makeup, I realized, man, like, I look good and I'm not going anywhere. My husband's tired. He worked a double shift. We're not going anywhere. So I said, I'm going to take advantage and I'm going to do a live so that at least y'all could be a part of this. And this is me, right? Well, actually, like, one half of my face is me. The other half of my face is not me. So maybe we can guess together which half did I do and which half did my makeup artist do, Rima Beats, while we wait for our guest to join. But nonetheless, we jumping in with the questions super early. But nonetheless, I just wanted to welcome all of you. My name is Alison. I'm a certified dating and relationship coach. I primarily work with singles to help them find the love and commitment that they deserve. Rima Beats is in the building. I just said, Rima, that I had to take advantage of this opportunity, and we were playing a little bit of a guessing game of which half did I primarily do versus which half did you primarily do. And nobody has guessed yet. So I guess that means it was seamless, girl. That means I did a good job. Today, we are specifically talking about the mistakes that men and women are both making on the dating scene. And luckily for me, I have an amazing guest that I'm going to go ahead and allow her to join. Okay, wait. Allow him to join. Before we do it, we had somebody said, you did the left, this being the left. Somebody else said, you did the right. You did the left. Is this y'all left or is this my left? You did your left, you did your left, you did your left. Most people are going with left. You did left, she did right. The makeup artist did the left. Okay, so this is the same. Oh no, so it's the opposite. So y'all say I did this side. Y'all say I did this side, this side. Y'all are absolutely right. This is the side that I did. That means I didn't really do a good job then. Maybe it's my lashes, which is not my fault. They're kind of falling out on their own. I did this side. So this is my side. Damn. That means I didn't do as good of a job as I thought. And my makeup artist, Rima Beach, she did the left side. But nonetheless, we are going to have our guest join us straight off, hot off the presses. We have Ace Meta. You may know him as a gentleman who gives amazing dating and relationship advice. And he also has a card game that I'm about to cop ASAP. Ace, what's up, brother?
What's up? How are you?
you?
I couldn't tell what side you did. I think I couldn't tell myself. But I'm going to be honest with you. I can never tell. So, I mean,
but guess what? I appreciate it nonetheless. That means that I got the skills to pay the bills. So I'm super happy. Super happy.
Yeah.
Let's jump right in because we're not here to waste any time. Ace, I asked you to join the live because I want to talk about some of the mistakes that men and women are making on the dating scene. I know that you fairly represent both sides, but I want to hear from you. Let's hear about the gentleman. I really want to hear from you. Could you share with us, let's share with the audience, what are some of the mistakes that gentlemen are making on the dating scene?
Thinking that their behaviors are predicated on meeting the right woman. And what that does is it puts you in a state of inactivity. There's not enough preparation going into preparing your heart, your mind, yourself financially, mentally, and emotionally to be able to receive that right one. I'll tell you this, because I really hate that statement, but there's a lot of people that think that. And the reason I think that is I feel like every relationship that a man gets in, he feels she is the right person. But if you're not prepared to receive that, then you won't have the results you want. So that's the first thing I would say is thinking that you can wait too late and you can flip a switch on and be actively prepared to be in a relationship if when you were single, you weren't doing those things to get you there. So that's the first thing I would say.
And you know what I realized, Ace? We jumped out the window and you didn't even get a chance to introduce yourself. I was just so excited. I just started. So let's take a step back. Let's take a step back. Ace, who are you, brother?
My name is Ace Metaphor. I am a poet, a motivational speaker. I always describe myself as a man with a camera. That's all I am. I've been there before. Everything I talk to, I either experienced or did it to a certain person or people. So it comes from a humble place, not trying to throw people under the bus, but say, we can do better in life. I also am the owner of tonight's conversation card. So if you guys ever seen that or have it or played it, that's some of the things that we created my team.
Good, good, good. All right. So for those who are joining the live stream, especially if you're coming from ACE's side, my name is Alison. I'm a certified dating and relationship coach. I primarily work with singles to help them find the love and commitment that they deserve. All right. So now that we got that out the way, my bad. I was just so excited to see.
Now you do it.
All right. So now we're getting back to this. But Ace, I'm going to tell you, I am a formally educated woman, multiple degrees. And some of what you said went over my head. So can you restate the number one is in the simplest forms? What's the biggest mistake that gentlemen are doing?
It's not preparing for a relationship. It is thinking that your actions and your behaviors and your flaws will magically change or disappear once you meet the right woman. And those previous mistakes that you made in relationships, you thinking and chalking it up to, well, that person just wasn't for me. That's why I didn't behave in a certain way, is the reason why you're not able to keep the right woman. So I think it's about getting in a space of preparing before you meet her. Because think about it. How many women have endured the pain of a person trying to become what they should have been from the beginning? Because now here you are, you meet somebody you like, and now you say to yourself, let me get myself together. But in that process, maybe you are still dealing with, a promiscuous spirit. In that process, maybe you got some mommy and daddy and emotional healing that you need to do, issues and emotional healing that you need to do. But if you're not doing that in your single space, then now you might fumble the most important bag you'll ever receive in your life, which is a helpmate, a teammate, and somebody that really got your back. So that's my suggestion for most men. And then I also think being financially prepared is a really great thing for men to be prior to dating. And my biggest suggestion I always give to men is wait until you're a little bit older. There's so many men making grown man decisions at 20, 21, and 22, and you're not grown yet. You are, but maybe you shouldn't be having children yet. Maybe you shouldn't be entertaining serious relationships because you haven't found yourself. How can you be a leader if you don't have vision? So I feel like as a man, you have to mature to a point where you're able to see where you're going. You're able to have those experiences of where you've been, and you got the necessary tools to have a fruitful relationship with someone you care about.
All right, you gave us a lot, so let's break this down just a bit. So now I get it. I got the first one, right? This idea of my behavior is going to magically change once I find the right one. And the reason why I was misbehaving, so to speak, or not treating this person in the way that they deserve is simply because they were an inappropriate match. So that's a shift, a mind shift that needs to happen, right?
Yes, very much so, yes.
Okay. Now, the next piece you mentioned was being more financially sound, being financially prepared. What does that look like for the gentleman?
It depends. There's levels, but you should be able to sufficiently take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Sufficiently take care of yourself to where you're not a burden when it comes to being a dating partner. I feel like your financial independence and lack thereof severely hampers your ability to attract a woman you really want. And so it doesn't mean that you have to be necessarily rich, but are you able to take care of the responsibilities of a household? Are you able to I found out daycare is like $300, $400, $500 a week. I just found this out. I ain't got no kids. I just found this out. And these are things that are important to know. Like, okay, if you're starting a family, can you afford it? Are you, even as simple as, can you afford to actively date? Now, you might find a woman that enjoy a walk in the park. Somebody told me the other day that, you don't need no money to go on a date. Just take her on a walk in the park. Take her for a picnic. I said, what man got a picnic basket just laying in his closet? He got to go buy a picnic basket. He got to buy a blanket to lay on, some lunch meat. So it's just it's just an important process for a man. And I also feel like for a woman, but you asked me about a man. So I think that's an important process for a man to do, is to get to where he's at least financially secure, at least enough to be able to contribute at a 50% level inside of his household. Now, again, it's not required to love, but I feel like you get the better results if you're looking to date, if you are able to at least take care of yourself.
Understood. Understood. So for the gentlemen who are on here, I don't want you to feel like you're being beat up here. This is not a beat up session. First of all, I'm about to go into the women, so it's already going to be fair. But then secondly, this is an opportunity to grow and to discuss. So if anybody has a question for Ace or I want you to please go ahead and drop it in the question queue. It's at the bottom of your screen right there, the question with the bubble. If you have a question for us, we're trying to take as many as we can. But this is a fair fight, right? And both parties and all parties have a role to play in these issues that we face. So Ace, let me get into my ladies, right? I have to tell you before we get into the ladies, I had a problem with you, right? For like 10 seconds, I had a problem with you. And the reason why I had a problem with you is because you made this amazing reel that I reposted a few days ago that talked about this idea of, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. And that may be all true. However, you have to be found in the first place.
Yeah.
Right? And the reason why I was angry at you is really because I'm angry at my audience. Because I've been saying that for a year and a half, and they've been pushing back. No, Alison, But then when you so eloquently stated what I've been saying for a year and a half, that how are you going to be in a position to be found if you're not being social, if you're not going out with friends, if you're not going to family events? And forget about COVID, as you said so eloquently, because y'all was antisocial before COVID, right? And you're not willing to go on dating apps. Dating apps don't work. Dating apps don't work because you're not working them.
Yeah.
Dating apps don't work because you automatically believe you're going to have a poor response. And so you're not putting your best foot forward. Dating apps don't work because, I had a bad experience. One? You know how many bad experiences I've had getting my hair done? Does that mean I'm never going to get my hair done again because one lady didn't part my hair?
Yeah.
So I was mad at you for about 10 seconds because I said in the caption, I said, but y'all going to listen to him because it's a man who's telling you this.
Well, yeah.
They said, preach, Ace. Preach. I never found you before. I'm going to follow you now. Because right?
Yeah.
So can you talk to us, even though I know I just went on the ladies, but I want to still bring it back to you. Can you talk to us about why you made that reel that day? Like, what was going on that made you say, these ladies need to understand, if you're not putting yourself out there, you're not going to be found?
Well, it's interesting because I had some shows in Florida, and it was a topic of conversation because we do question and answer, and it was something we all debated on stage. And I think that scripture, in my opinion, that he who finds a wife finds a good thing. It makes it seem as if being found is a passive action when it's not. It's an active action. And to me, there's as equal effort that goes into being found as the person doing the finding. Mm-hmm. And that means that you have to get out of your shell. But there's so many people that feel like, God is just going to knock a man at your door and then there's your blessing. And then I think in that video, we talked about how faith without works is dead. You have to work in harmony with your faith. And that means, yes, you're going to have to talk to somebody. You're going to have to speak to someone. You're going to have to go to different places. Think about it like this. People go to the same gym, the same church, the same job, the same bar, and they rotate that throughout the whole year and then complain about the people that's in their proximity. Yep. Change your proximity. Do something different. Show more effort. And look, I don't want to even take it as far as, because I know you didn't ask me about this part of it, but I even think that and I want ladies to hear me out, for certain women, just like certain things for certain guys, for certain women, I think you'll get better results if you was not opposed to approaching men. And I now hold on, don't get, I know y'all like to tussle, but like what I'm saying is approaching, sparking a conversation. Because think about it, oftentimes we attract people, especially women, you attract a man from across the room by how you look.
Mm-hmm.
You're using your attraction factor as bait.
Mm-hmm.
But what about using your personality? The
Mm.
sound of your voice, your charisma, the way you smell. And if you're not close enough to a man, listen, some of us are not supermodels. I'm not. I'm not Shamar Moore. I'm not Tyrese.
Mm-hmm.
Mace Metaphor. I ain't 6'7".
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I had to work a little bit harder. I had to use my personality a little bit more. And
Mm-hmm.
I think for certain women, you'll get better results using your personality more to attract men. And the reason I say this, and I don't want to get long-winded, but the reason I say that is one of my boys, and he'll be at the podcast shoot. One of my boys, he had an excellent point. He said, men are offensive creatures. We
Mm-hmm.
really offensive minded. We don't know what to do when we got to be put on defense. I
Mm-hmm.
really do feel like the women I've paid the most attention to in my life have been the women who spark conversations with me. It'll always end with me saying, hey, let me get your number, or hey, let's go out. Especially if this person is nice and nice looking, but because men are not necessarily defensive creatures, like think about it, as a woman, even as a married woman, but before being a married woman,
Mm-hmm.
you probably got hollered at a lot. So you're used to curving a lot.
Yep.
Men were not. In my life, I can tell you on my hand how many women before I started doing shows came up and spoke to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just suggest that these are things that we have to do. Being found is an active process. And if you're not, listen, if you disagree, that's okay. But what does your results say? Because if you continue to do what you've always done, you're always going to get what you always got.
Yep.
So maybe try something different.
Yep. So well said. So in case there's anybody else out there who's taking notes, because I sure am, right? First of all, this live will be saved. But if you're taking notes, what we've covered so far are some of the mistakes that gentlemen are making in regards to not preparing for love, not beginning to change their behaviors as they enter back into the dating scene and start seeing new people, not being financially prepared, and not being emotionally mature to start dating seriously. So that's what we have for the gentlemen so far. For the ladies, a lot of folks are holding on to this idea that, he who finds a wife finds a good thing, so I have to be found. There's no follow-up line that says, so ladies stay in the house and watch Netflix, y'all. I don't know that scripture. He who finds a wife finds a good thing, so all you got to do is stay in the house and watch Netflix and play with your dog. Absolutely not. You have to be in a position to be found. So being social, going out, using dating apps. We use apps for everything else. Why not? And this ideology of I had a bad experience, so I'm not going to use a dating app is impractical. We've had bad experiences when you meet people in real life and you didn't stop dating them. Yeah. You had a bad experience when you met someone on the block, at the coffee shop, in the gym, and you didn't stop. You didn't say, Alison, I'm never going to date again because I had a bad experience meeting somebody in reality. So it's not reasonable. If you go out on a dating app or you go out in person with an idea that this isn't going to work, you're absolutely right. It won't. You are absolutely right. It won't work. You're going to have blinders on. You're not going to be mindful of who's around you. You're not going to pay attention. As Ace said, you're not going to take the chance of introducing yourself. What's the worst thing that can happen, ladies? If you just say, hello, good afternoon. My name is Alison. Are you new in the neighborhood? Hey, I see that you are trying the fried chicken. I had the steak. Is it tasty? Is it something I should try? And just go ahead with the conversation. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Okay, so Ace, I don't know if you have some time, but we definitely have some questions.
No, go ahead. I got a few minutes.
Pull them up. All right, beautiful people, we do have some time. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and drop it in the queue. We're going to take as many as we can. I have all night. I just hit Ace up and said, hey, brother, you got a couple minutes, and he's been so kind to bless us. So let's see what we can pull up here. Ooh, these are kind of long, y'all. The question is, how do I know if I'm being, this is from a woman, how do I know if I'm being picky or petty, or if it's actual red flags I should be paying attention to? How do I know if I'm being picky or petty, or is it actual red flags that I should be paying attention to?
You got to know your red flags. You know what I'm saying? Like, essentially what you're asking is, how do I know if the flag is red? You got to know what the color red is. And that's the thing. Prior to dating, what are your non-negotiables? Prior to dating, what are some things that you know for a fact is not conducive to a healthy relationship? And you have to look for those things. Oftentimes, when you're not able to have that knowledge, you can't cue your discernment because you don't got the necessary tools for your discernment to get to work. So I suggest people in your single space, educate yourself, learn. And here's the thing, you don't have to date by yourself. You're a dating coach, right? You don't have to date by yourself. You can have a team, mentors, pastors, whoever on your side to be able to help you decipher the things you are hearing and you are seeing. But I think the biggest mistake is people go in clueless. Just like people don't know what red flags to look for, some people don't know what green flags to look for. They don't even know what you are looking for. So I think taking that time before you go to dating, and knowing what's those things you cannot deal with. Certain people, cheating is a deal breaker. That's something that I can't deal with. For certain people, it's something that's like, it's inconvenient. But you got to know what type of person you are. If you're a person that can't take that, you need to know, okay, what are some signs that this person is a little bit too flirty for me to handle? Red flags for people are different. You know what I'm saying? And it comes from a supreme level of self-awareness. And that comes from meditating and learning yourself. Date yourself. And it's as simple as that. I know it sounds cliche, but date yourself, learn what you can handle, what you can't handle, learn who's compatible for the type of soul you have. And if you search those things out, you'll know what type of person I am and what type of person that I cannot link with. And that's the biggest thing. So I think if you do that, you'll be okay.
Absolutely. I'm telling you, this is what I've been preaching for a year and a half, but they're going to see you, Ace, and they're going to be like, oh, it's the first time I ever heard this in my life. Guys, you have to have a clear vision as to exactly what you're looking for in a partner and a partnership. If you don't have that clear vision, then you're going to be driving around in circles. I always liken it to when you have that clear vision as to what you're looking for in a partner or a partnership, that's like having Waze or Google Maps. Right?
Yeah.
I'm at point A. I want to get to point B, which is a healthy, fulfilling relationship. And if I have a clear vision as to what I want, then I can assess whether or not this person is an appropriate match for me. If not, right? If I don't have that Waze or I don't have that Google Maps, I'm going to miss my exit on the belt, right? I'm driving down Belt Parkway in Brooklyn. I'm going to miss my exit. What does that mean? I don't know when to leave. I'm going to run out of gas. What does that mean? I'm going to get dating fatigue and be overwhelmed, and N words ain't this and B words ain't that, right? Or I'm going to drive around some undesirable neighborhoods and become overwhelmed and stressed out, driving in circles, messing with the wrong people. You have to have a clear vision as to what you're looking for in order to find it. Yesterday, I was on a discovery call, right? And I wanted to illustrate this point. So I grabbed these pens that are on my desk. And I said, all of these pens are good pens. They work. They'll give me ink. They'll write down what I needed to write. However, if I have a desire for a silver pen and I know that, then guess what? Nothing's wrong with these pens, but they're not an appropriate match because I know I want the silver one. Now, the black one is a great match for somebody else. It's just not a great match for what I'm looking for right now. It doesn't mean that someone isn't a good human being or you're not a good human being. It just means they may not be the right match for you of where you are in your life right now. And the discernment is being able to assess this immediately. I'm talking about when we start texting on the phone. I'm talking about when we start our FaceTime. I'm talking about before we even go out on a date. Because guess what? I don't want to waste my outfit. I don't want you to waste your money. So let's figure out, right? Because makeup is expensive. You got your hair done.
Yeah.
And I don't want to waste the guy's money either because he's going to be paying me taking me on a date, right? So I don't want to waste his money either. I don't want to waste anyone's time here. Let us figure out what we want first before we even download an app, before we go out to the mixer, before we go out to the event. If you don't have that clarity, it's a wrap.
You know, I love that driving analogy you use in the waves, the GPS analogy. I love that. I just want to add a little caveat to it. A lot of us, we know what we're looking for and we know where we're going, but we get in accidents anyway because we are distracted driving. Some of you guys are texting and driving figuratively. You're sexing earlier than you should before you're prepared to. You're getting your emotions involved before you have seen this person's true character. You are doing all these other things, but assessing and keeping your eyes on the road. And so it isn't that the red flag wasn't there or you didn't know to stop at a red light.
Yes.
You didn't see the red light. because you were so distracted with the fun and the sex and the trauma bonding that y'all do and all these different things, and you're confusing commonality with compatibility, that now you run through the red flags that were there. And then you be like, then here's the crazy part about it is, oftentimes it's like we be like, man, these red flags came out of nowhere. No. They was there the whole time.
Yep.
We just wasn't looking for them. So I just caution everybody, when it comes to assessing and truly dating, you have to now say, okay, I got to keep my feelings in harbor for a while. I got to keep my heart on the leash for a while, because I can't let that make the decisions for me. Because if you got your heart invested early on during dating, then no matter if you see those red flags or you don't, even if you do see them, you're gonna talk yourself into believing they are pink. So just be careful about that.
Yep. We have another question from a gentleman, and it says, what are your favorite places or locations to date?
Say that one more time.
The gentleman asked, and I'm going to do a little inferencing. I don't think he means it literally. What are your favorite places or locations to date? So I'm thinking maybe meet people. Let's go with that. Let's go with that version of meeting people. Where do you meet ladies, or where should men go to meet ladies? And I'll answer the question of where ladies should go to meet men, assuming we're talking about heterosexual relationships.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I ain't really been beating women in a while. I'm off the market. But when I was, I thought the best place to meet women was just in my daily life, like at the gym, things that I like doing, football games, when I would go out to like mature mixers and networking events. That's where I felt the best. But I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna act like I'm really deep, because I'm not. Because I'm a DM diver. I just dive with those DMs. Safe like that. I'm a DM diver. So a lot of the women when I used to kick it with, I DM dived. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not even gonna act like that I was actively going out. But I also feel like it's just especially for men, it's about, I would suggest you going to places where you're comfortable. It's almost like your home court advantage. If you are a great karaoke singer, go to karaoke spaces. Because in those spaces, everybody know when you get up there and sing, you know what I'm saying, it's shutting down. You get this energy in this life. Like I did poetry growing up, or in my teenage and early 20s. So at the poetry shows, yo, I walk in, I'm doing this with everybody, you know, and then the lady's like, oh, who is that guy? And then when they call my name, hey, it's Metaphor to the mic. And I get up there and do a poem, you know what I'm saying? I feel the swag and the confidence in being in a place where it's able to highlight some of my strengths. So I would suggest that. I don't know what your strength is. Like, gym is my strength. Now, gym might not be your strength. You know, I can't tell you to meet women at the gym, because maybe you put a plate on there and you struggle. That's not going to be good for you. You know what I'm saying? So go to a place where you feel like it highlights your strength, and then that'll help you be more natural. You have more natural things to talk about. If you know about fitness, being at a gym is perfect, because now you can spark a conversation with a young lady about fitness. So those are my suggestions for men.
So this is major key alert. This is info that I tell my paying and they pay my paying clients. All right. So this is some good tea. Y'all ready? You're ready. Gotta clear my clear my throat for this, right? Ladies, go to male-dominated conferences. Boom. So for instance, I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with EYL, Earn Your Leisure. It's a well-known entrepreneurial podcast. They talk about business, crypto, real estate, all types of stuff. They had an event in Atlanta called Invest Fest. Thousands of people showed up to Atlanta to that event. Male dominated. 80% of the audience was male. But let me tell you what's so beautiful about that, because I mean, you could probably walk anywhere and find a lot of men. These men are business minded. These men are prepared to invest in themselves so that they can get to the bag, so they can provide for themselves and provide for their family. They are smart. They are hardworking. They're not making any excuses, and they're in this to figure it out. If you are investing in yourself going into a conference, people don't be going to conferences willy-nilly, but if you're going to a conference to better yourself, that is where you meet people. The same group, they had an event in Oakland just this weekend. If you in Oakland, well, you missed it. But point is, going to conferences where you know that the general topic is going to be things that men usually talk about. Not to say that women aren't entrepreneurial. I've been following EYL for years. But my point is, you're going to events where men tend to be, that's where you should go. Not only because of the percentage or the ratio, but because these are going to be like-minded individuals who want to establish a legacy, and they want to make sure that their family's good. They want to give back to the community. They want to, all of that good stuff. I'm telling y'all, conferences.
Hey, listen, that's a good one. That's a good one. That is a good one. That's a good one.
Yep. Yep. So let's see how many more questions we got up in here. We got a lot, but we ain't got all night. So, let's see. Ooh, this is a good one. This one's for you, Ace, because it's hard. How do you approach someone? Well, it's not hard. How do you approach someone that you've been dating about becoming exclusive?
I think it can be a delicate situation, especially if you're not sure. But I'm of the mindset of closed mouth don't get fed. Now, here's the thing. You can, and this is what I always tell people, you can verbalize how you feel and not expect an immediate response, okay? Because you may have graduated to a new level of feelings for that person that person just ain't got there with you. People think that we grow feelings towards each other simultaneously. Now, that don't mean you're lapsing leaps and bounds in front of this person, but you tell this person, hey, listen, we've been dating for a while and I care about you. And I know, this may be catching you off guard or maybe it's not, but I'm really thinking that I think we should focus on each other. You know what I mean? I'm not really talking to anybody else right now. And I would like to know if it's safe for me to assume that you're not talking to somebody else right now and we can build focus here. Now, give you some time to think about it because I ain't going to lie. I've been thinking about it for a week. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to give you a little bit of time to think about it, but won't, you get back at me and you think, you tell me what you feel. Oftentimes, I think we say it, and we have these hard discussions, not even just about this, but we have these discussions as if someone has had the same amount of time or have been thinking about the same thing for the same amount of time that we have. And that's not necessarily the case. So I would approach it just being assertive with what you want, where you see this going, maybe give a reason why. Oh, because, you real dope, man. And I can kind of see this going places. But don't feel like you're rejected if that person isn't necessarily right at that level with you right away. Because again, it may take somebody, a little bit longer than you to be like, okay, you know he or she is right for you right now, but they may not know the same for you. So don't be intimidated by that possibility.
Understood. I appreciate that. That's a very similar answer to what I would say as well. Ask. Ask. Like, this thing does not have to be as complicated as we like to make it, but I like the addition, and I'll also edit my response moving forward and then give them some time to respond.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check back with you. We could pick this conversation up next week. Now we're gonna pick it up next week though, because what I'm not gonna do is I'm not gonna put it out there and then let it simmer and then be presumptuous. We never want to put ourselves in a position where we are assuming, because you know what they say, when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me, right? So you can blatantly ask. I saw somebody in the comments that I'm shy, and I can respect that, but what's more important? You leaning into your shyness or you getting clarity as to where you stand with your partner or your potential exclusive partner moving forward? Ask. It won't be the end of the world. You will be okay. Give them a little bit of time. And guess what? The way that I see it is I would much rather find out now than be presumptuous and find out 6 months from now or a year from now when I thought we were building something and we weren't building again. Not a thing. Yeah. So I have one more question before I let you go, Ace. I just want to thank you so much for taking time out for joining this live stream. And for everybody who's asking, we absolutely will save this live. It's going to be on my page. And I'll send you the link, Ace, if you're in a position to share it on you if you want to. But nonetheless, all right. This is a good question. This is the last one for the night. How long should you wait on a woman before moving on? How long should you wait on a woman before moving on?
Wait. What do we mean by wait? Like, wait, hold on. Let me look this up. I'm confused. Well, wait for what? And here's the thing, fellas. This is why walking in your purpose is very important. There's places I'm going that I'm passionate about, that a purpose God put in my heart and my life, and I got to get there. I'm ambitious, I'm driven, and that's probably why you're interested in me. Amongst other things, I would hope that I'm honest and I got great character.
Mm.
Um, and I love to lead, but I've already taken the first step to let you know that it's safe for you to take a step as well. And I might take another step just to let you know, okay, it is extra safe.
Mm.
But there's only so long I can put what I got going on hold for a person that's unsure about me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the bottom line. There is a reasonable amount of time that I expect that, okay, we're dating each other, we're getting to know each other. There's a reasonable amount of time. But if you are telling me wait insinuates that maybe you're not ready for a relationship. Maybe, maybe, maybe it's something else other than me
Mm.
not meeting that requirement you're asking. Maybe there's something else that's preventing you from emotionally opening up. And here's my suggestion. Cool. But I have to realize who I am and how good of a catch I am. And this is the thing, like I know for the people that follow me, you're like, Ace, this is so much different than advice you would give women. Well, not necessarily, but the reason I tell men this is because, and I know ladies, you're not gonna like this. This is why I'll say this in front of ladies. This is a barbershop talk here. It's something about when you are not confident in who you are as a man.
Mm-hmm.
That will lose that attraction of a woman that is attracted to you.
Mm-hmm.
When you're waiting, you know, when you're overcommitting, when you're acting as if you don't have other options. And I'm not saying it's a disrespectful or distasteful actions toward her, but the wait, I don't know what that word means. So maybe we get some clarification. But wait means you stay here while I decide when I'm ready or when I get ready. And I don't really like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or you chase me. Like at some point, listen, I'm going to reach out to you. I'll ask you out on the first date. I'll pay for the first date or two. I'll initiate some conversations. But at some point, I want some reciprocity.
Yes.
At some point, I'm no longer chasing. We holding hands, walking together. You know what I'm saying? And if you keep stopping, and I got to keep nah. And the thing I want every man that's watching right now, if you have options, act like it. That doesn't mean be a player. That doesn't mean be distasteful. But I believe you have to know that you have worth as well,
Mm-hmm.
and that you got places to go. And I ain't waiting for nobody.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my opinion. But look, let me say this. I talk from a level of high self-confidence and worth.
Yes.
It'll take a while to get there. Because let me be honest with you. Sometimes having that high self-confidence and worth mean you got to walk away from something that could have potentially turned into something.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to be okay with that possibility not coming to fruition.
Right.
Because you value your standards and how you feel about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my opinion.
Right. Ace, you're just so eloquent because I say the same thing and then they chew me up when I say that. I literally posted a reel 2 days ago that said I'm not waiting. Mm-hmm. And they told me, how are you going to put a limit and people need time? Guess what? Time is of the essence. Time waits for no one. Whatever expression you want to think of. Life is short. I'm not waiting. So in regards to the question that we had previously, which is, hey, our response was, hey, this is how I'm feeling. I'd like to take next steps. I'm going to give you some time. That means like a week max. We're not doing 8 months to the people who know what real I'm talking about. I'm not waiting 8 months for someone to decide whether or not they want to commit to me. And let's talk about what commitment is, y'all. Commitment means I'm cutting off all my old hoes and I'm investing my time, effort, and energy in you so we can begin to build towards something greater. Commitment does not mean I'm marrying you. Commitment does not mean I'm having a baby with you. It just means I ain't talking to nobody else. And the quality time that I have is with you. And then we're going to begin to plan and put things in place to see if we can take this further. If it's marriage, if it's lifelong partnership, whatever it might look like for you, building a family, legacy, things of that nature. So absolutely not. And I love the way that you said it. I am such of a high confidence. I am not in a position to wait. I'm just not. Right. And no one should be. And this isn't arrogance. This is understanding that your time is valuable. And if you're not there, it's okay. Let's bring them back. All the pens are good. They're all amazing pens. They all write well. I need the silver one. I need the one who's on the same page as me. And
Yeah.
these are great, but they're going to go right back into the sea and find an
Yeah.
appropriate match for them. I found mine and I'm hanging on mine because this pen wants me as much as I want it. Okay?
I gotta just, I know you're about to end this, but I think this is a very good point. Um, be ready before you meet me. You know, you may not know I'm the person that's going to fill the role of husband in your life, but I want you to be actively seeking a husband. I need that to be the reason you here on a date. I'm 32. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? And so, again, I think that's the part that messes people up is when you meet people you know are not ready to have a wife. You know what I'm saying? They're not dating with intentions. They're experimentally dating, or they're dating to get their mind off of something or to fill a void, but they're not dating to look for a wife. This is why I always tell people, especially when you go on a date, hey, at some point ask, why are you here? Is it just to have fun? That's cool. Be honest.
Right.
Or are you actively looking for a wife? Now, I'm not saying me as a wife, but I need to know you're looking for, because that's the role I'm looking to fill in someone's life. And the reason why a lot of people require other people to wait on them is because they haven't decided if they're ready for commitment. They haven't decided if they want to be a husband or wife. And so they're trying to figure it out and still hold you as an option. And what you end up doing is you end up being on layaway. I call waiting and layaway. Because listen, they take you off the shelf where other possible suitors can see you and put you in the back of the store. All right? While they decide if they want you or not. And that's the waiting thing. So it's almost like that person is trying to get best of both worlds. Yep. If you're not ready, I wish you would be man or woman enough to say, you know, at least for some type of commitment. I ain't saying it got to be marriage, because you know, really be ready for marriage. But some type of commitment, if you're not at that level, be man or woman enough to let that person know and let them go. You know what I'm saying? Because there's other people that might be. You know what I mean? So that's my opinion on that subject.
Well said. Ace, I want to give you the opportunity to reintroduce yourself as we close. Let us know what you have going on. You can share what we got going on. I'm really excited about that. So go on ahead.
So look. Well, my bad, y'all. You know, listen, I've been working. I got up at 8 today. I've been on this computer since 8 o'clock. I'm about to go get some tacos though. So my bad. But I've been working on this project. We got a project coming out, and I invited her to be a part of it. So thank you so much for agreeing to be a part of it.
Of course.
We're coming out with a podcast series, and it's going to be focused on love, relationships, dating, communication, healthy communication. It's going to be panel style. So if you guys have ever come to one of my shows, it'll be the same type of experience, but with really, really great personalities, really knowledgeable people. So I want you guys to be on lookout for that. Other than that, man, the only thing I got going on is the same thing I've always had going on. And so if you want to follow me at Ace Metaphor or any of one of these platforms, I'm even on TikTok.
That's not true. You have something, you made an announcement just a few days ago, huge announcement just a few days ago.
Oh, the stream. Listen, let me tell you this. I be doing so much stuff that I'll be forgetting. So I'm coming out with a streaming service, you guys. I'm a person that loves to own the block. You know what I'm saying? And there's been a lot of people interested in my tonight's conversation content, major networks and other platforms, but I've decided to, it's just my baby. I just can't just give it to somebody else right now. So I'm coming out with that, man. And it's just a lot of big news, but it ain't really nothing to brag about. I'm just glad you guys spent the last 40 minutes watching us, and I hope that you guys got value. And if you got value, that's more important than anything else I got to talk about that I got going on. Okay?
Right.
So there it is. And listen, first of all, I'm really glad we did it. You are a really great moderator. I'm glad I figured that out, because I'm up here trying to organize how to put people. I'm like, you are really great at that. You recap well. No, stop it. Stop it. Don't get modest now. You recap well. You can do half your face and makeup. Like, this is really great. This is really great. So you guys be on the lookout, man. We got some projects coming together. So you guys be on the lookout, all right?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, folks. Like I said, this is going to be saved, so you can feel free to check it out. And you're going to see our projects that Ace and I have together is coming up real, real soon. So have a good night, and thank you so much, Ace, for joining us.
All right, peace.
All right, have a good one.